Hi everyone. Welcome. Today's Saturday, and as we do on Saturdays, we get together and we talk about things that are going to help us in our growth and our development as immigrants. And I am excited that today we can come together. I'll give you 30 seconds to tag someone, tell someone we are live now on Facebook, on YouTube, and they can join because you don't want them to miss on this important conversation that we are having today. Again, my name is Tina Grace, and I will be your host, your facilitator for today. So, Masterpiece Conversations, we aim at elevating the voices of immigrants. And as you know, we've done different topics and different things that we've learned in the process. Today, we want to look at how do we change with the times because there's so many things happening in our world today, and we are all having to change, having to learn differently, and all that good stuff. So, without much ado, I'm going to tell you who is joining me today. And if you didn't see the flyer that we posted this week, we are sitting down today with an amazing gentleman. His name is Sam Badu. He's the founder and CEO of Flurry. And he's going to tell us some more about that, right? But he grew up in Accra. So for those of you who are coming from Ghana, this is a fellow person you can know and you can try and become his friend, right? So from Accra, Ghana, he left for Morocco at the age of 18 on a UN scholarship. And his experiences as an immigrant has shaped his views on Pan-Africanism, immigration, entrepreneurship, and inspired him to create Flurry, which we're going to learn some more about today. So that is why I'm saying call someone, tell someone that this is not a conversation they want to miss because Flurry is changing the way immigrants provide care to loved ones overseas by offering a digital platform that will help them to get healthcare providers and services in emerging countries. This is huge. So please stay tuned and let's, listen in, ask questions as we go along. I'm sure we will answer the questions as they come in. But I also have Margaret joining us, and Margaret is going to help us also understand the community based work that they're doing. And so let me just bring them on board, and we are going to get started. Hello, everyone. You can unmute yourself. I hope I didn't mute you. All right. So,
Everyone.
Hi,
yeah,
Tina Grace. How are you?
I am doing
Thank you for
well.
having us.
Yeah, I am excited to have you. It's really a lot of things that is happening out there that I think that as we all learn today, we are going to be, pretty much amazed at some of the things that changing with the times will help us to benefit from. So, welcome. But as we do here, we try to also get you to introduce yourself because I am not great at doing this bio thing. I say some of them and I miss some of them, but Sam, let's start with you. So, who is Sam in his own words, really?
So, Sam Badu is my name. Like you said, I was born in Ghana, father to
Mhm.
three children, and I have this incredible opportunity to work with a team that is solving a
Mm,
problem that is really pertinent for immigrants living in the diaspora. Primarily, how to support loved ones back home, but most importantly, how to support them by providing quality healthcare that they need, and
mm,
even most important of all, how to do so without sending money transfers back home.
wow.
And that's a really significant piece of what we do. And we'll talk about why as we get on. But that's a little about me. Super excited to speak to you and then your community here.
Amazing. Wow. Good to have you here. Maggie, so tell us a bit about you.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Margaret Iguchulam and I live in Lagos, Nigeria. Yeah. And at Flurry, I lead community activities. I am the mediator between Flurry and our partners, between Flurry and some of the African immigrant communities that we serve. And the work I do is to create programs, create activities, create events that would help create lasting impact in the lives of our benefactors, donors, as well as our partners. And it's been the work we do at Flair is very interesting and also impactful. So I'm always excited to talk about Flurry and the work we do, especially in the aspect of community. So thank you once again for having me here.
We are excited to have you. Hi, I see Eva. So if you're joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, I want you to say something. Just say hi. We want to acknowledge you. We want to, make sure that we are not, ghosting you out, because we want to get that, conversation going as well. So thank you for those of you joining. Just say hi to me. I will definitely stop and I will say hi to you. All right. So as we get going, we're going to just hello. Eva from, I don't know, I think Massachusetts, I'm not sure yet, but at this point, So one of the things that we want to talk about is changing with the times. And for you and I, as we are here, what comes to mind when we talk about changing with the times is so many things have changed even since COVID, right? We've had to change the way that we do business. Online is really the place to be, whether you want to be there or not. That is a space that we have. So how do we change with the times? Because a lot of us are still, still not getting it, still not buying into it. Like, we want to be where we are, we want to be comfortable where we are, but things have changed. So what has been your experience for you as an entrepreneur and as someone who is leading this charge to help us change our minds around care? What does that mean to you with changing with the times? Yeah. So I think you're on mute. Okay.
It'll be interesting to hear. No, I was saying it will be interesting to hear what others think as well, as they cross it. I look at it this way: I'm shaped by my immigrant experience, and as everyone who's this will know, experience is directly dependent on your ability to change or to handle change, right? From the time when you decide you're leaving home, that's a change. The mindset change that is required is enormous. When you get to your new country, right, assimilation requires change. To be able to understand and thrive, right, requires change. And so the first piece that I will put in here is the fact that change is not something to fear. It's an inevitable part of the process that leads to growth. And when we think of it in that way, it allows us to have a different relationship with change, right? Some people have an experience around change that is linked to bad experiences, right? For instance, the life that I had to live, right, when my grandmother passed, it was a change and a shift for someone that I'd lived 14 years with, right? To have to experience what that was, right? If you hold yourself and associate change with those negative experiences, we will lose the opportunity to be able to see change for the greater part that it is. It's an inevitable part of the process that leads to growth. And so that is the way that I understand change. And that is what reflects, my relationship with that.
Awesome. So Maggie, as you work with your community, like different groups, what do you see? Like, for us, change is scary. I mean, and change is huge. Now we're here. We're here in different parts. I am in Kentucky. Sam is in Ohio. You in Nigeria, and we are still connected. This is change. I mean, we wouldn't have had it 10 years ago, right? But we are here and we are live. It's not like we're recording it. So then I'm thinking about this, and we know that things have changed. But as you're working with community members, what are some of the things that you are getting from them when it comes to change? Is it an easy thing? Are we in the place, especially for emerging countries, to embrace this change that we are talking about?
Okay, thank you for your question. The very first thing is not everyone is as open to change as we perceive. And I think it's irrespective of the generation. For
Right.
some people, the more changes that come up with time, the more closed up they are. So because I live in Nigeria and it means that I have to work remotely, one of the ways I had to reach out to some communities was via email or by sending cold messages, either email or social media. Now,
Right.
some responded positively, which is the change that
Thing. Maggie, did we lose you?
okay. Some
Okay.
responded positively to the change, while some, in fact, getting an email like that made them begin to doubt us. So we now have to take it like a step further. Have things like intro calls. You have an intro call with me. If that doesn't convince you enough, I schedule an intro call with Sam. So that way there are levels and walls to climb. And that's for like a particular age bracket. And I'm not trying to just limit it to that. Some were actually more receptive to that, while some were like they were doubtful about it. So
Mm.
for me, I would say what I've seen is we need to extend a hand of grace because this change, I think COVID made things speed up like times five. There was this slow pace, this gentle easing into tech. Even fintech was gradual.
Mm.
Uh, e-commerce was gradual. Even the delivery services and all of that was gradual. But when COVID happened, the world had to move faster at a quicker pace. Those who caught up on time were the winners at the
Mm.
end of the day. And those who took a little bit of time to adjust, they either lost or they paid the price in a way. So for that's how I have seen change. That's why I'm saying that I usually extend the hand of grace. And as a
Mm.
community manager, you need to be empathetic, you need to be kind, and you need to learn how to communicate because you're dealing with diverse people. So communication, kindness, and empathy helps me navigate the various helps me and my community members navigate the various facets of changes that we get to see. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So, Sam, I think for you, as Maggie is saying, let's talk a bit more about Flurry and the work that you're doing, right? And how that is a change thing. Like that is huge. And it's a change in mindset, is a change in how we are offering care, is a change in what we are doing, but then it's new. And how do you get people to embrace it? So I know I'm asking too many questions in one. But let's talk about what is Flurry, because I'm excited. I need someone to understand what is Flurry. I mean, they've been talking about Flurry, but what is Flurry to start with? And
Yeah.
how are you starting that change with immigrants buying into this?
Yeah, so really appreciate the question. The simplest way to put it is Flurry is a family care solution
Mm,
for immigrant families, right? Um, Flurry changes the traditional way in which immigrants have supported their loved ones and dependents back home
okay.
to access quality care. Now,
Mm,
what do I mean by changes the way that we've always done it? It wouldn't be a strange thing to any of you here that over the last 70 years, right, since the um, interesting birth of Western Union, the default way in which immigrants have supported their loved ones has been to send money.
mm-hmm.
Now, there is a big part of the immigrant journey that actually rarely gets talked about, right? And as we go along, maybe I'll share some of my own experiences. Um, when you travel and leave home and get to this new country, all of a sudden, all of a sudden,
All of a
there's
sudden.
this new created reality,
Mm-hmm.
right? That becomes this person is responsible for all sorts of things that they
Everything.
were previously not responsible for, right? I was talking to someone this morning, and it became, you're responsible for funding someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know that when we live here, it's actually not so easy, right?
Yeah.
Work hours are long. Um, your pay has 10,000 different bills attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And in the midst of all of this, you have open mouths that are waiting for you to drop some money back home, right?
Yeah.
And so that is the situation that most immigrants find themselves in.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, every single year, we hear and see billions of dollars, right, continue to increase in transfers from immigrants in the diaspora back home. Think about the continent itself. Nigeria receives in excess of 20 something billion dollars, right? Ghana receives in excess of $8 billion. The African continent is seeing 60 plus $billion in remittances. Now, what people don't talk about is the immigrants who are sending the money, right? Every single dollar that they're sending represents their hard work and represents a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Every dollar that you send back home is a dollar that you don't get to invest in your life. You don't get to invest in a down payment for a house. You don't get to send your kids to private school. You don't get to invest in an MBA, right? You don't get to invest in a vacation. That is what that $60 billion actually represents.
Wow.
And we don't talk about that,
We don't.
right? We don't. And so here's the thing that even makes it harder.
Mm.
African immigrants in the United States have the lowest retirement readiness rate of any group in the United States
Mm.
at 2%, which
Wow.
means that for every 100 Africans who live here, if you actually dive in and ask them, what is your 401k like? Do you have an IRA? What does retirement look like for you? Only 2 out of 100 have a retirement plan that is ready.
Wow.
You know why? Because 75% to 85% of their disposable income, the money that is left behind after you pay your bills, after you pay your rent, after you pay your phone bill, after you pay your car note, after you pay your water, trash, after you pay everything, right? The money that is left behind, we take 75 to 85% of that and send back home as remittances.
Mm.
And so African immigrants are constantly pressed.
Right.
They have no money
Mm.
to do anything else other than repeat the cycle. Hand to mouth, hand to mouth, hand to mouth.
Mhm.
In order for you to change that, again, here comes our word change, right?
Change.
Change is a necessary, right, part of the process that leads to growth.
Yeah.
In order for you to change that so that you as an African immigrant can live a different life, the only thing that is possible to do is to change the way that you send money back home.
Mm.
Note that I didn't say is to change the way that you support your family. It's to
Mm.
change the way that we send money back home. And for Fleury, where we come in is looking at all of the reasons why immigrants are sending money. Number one, living expenses, healthcare, school fees, funerals. That's where the money is going to.
Right.
right? And so, piece by piece, right, like Masterpiece, Flurry is essentially changing the way that we do these things by eliminating the need to send money transfers. And so, how do we do that? Take the first thing that we do, healthcare. In every country, Flurry has a team. So today we're in 6 African countries and growing. So
Wow.
for someone who is here who has family in Ghana, Nigeria, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Kenya, right, or the Gambia, when your family back home,
Mhm.
right, needs care, what does Flurry do? We give you a dedicated family care manager. This is the person that all of their requests will be routed through.
Wow.
So when someone calls you and Akosia says, uh, Uncle Fred, I want you to send me some money. For what? Mama needs to go to the hospital. Oh, okay. Talk to Abna. Abna is your family care manager. She works for me, right? Because I have a Flurry membership. She will
Mm.
deal with it. Now, when Akosia goes to Abna and tells her, well, Mama needs to go to the hospital, what Flurry will do is one, we will speak to Mama. We will verify that she needs to go to the hospital. We will find her a hospital. We can arrange for a vehicle to pick her up and take her to the hospital, even. And we will tell you what it will cost. You will pre approve it. We will prepay for that. And then she will get the care. Then you over here will pay for exactly what that care costs.
That's amazing.
In this scenario, like you saw, there was no need for you to go to a Western Union. There was no need for you to go download some app to send money, right? Now you know exactly where your money went to.
Yeah.
You know exactly what it was used for. You know exactly how much it cost, and you can be rest assured that she received the care. That is the way that Flurry changes the way we take care of our family back home.
Wow. That is huge. That is huge. Maggie, I see you smiling. I think you have something else to add, which I mean, but that is huge because that is the what, like you said, where we spend a lot of money. You're sending it to a relative. And of course, the relative has to have some share in it. This other person has to have a share in it. And it makes sense why we will have only 2% of our population here ready for retirement, because we spend too much on some of these things,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
because like I said to people, it's not a good thing to do business with relatives, you
yeah,
know? Yeah.
yeah.
And this
It's
is huge.
exactly that. And so for us, one goal and one goal only: eliminate the need for immigrants to send money back home. Right? It doesn't mean eliminate the need for them to support their family. Just do it in a way that does not jeopardize your own financial future. Period.
That's it. So send money. You can send money for other things. They want to get some groceries, whatever it is. You budget for it, put it there. But
Yeah.
if you're going to send money for healthcare, which is also like without the work you're doing, it's so difficult because of how the system works. So let me ask, so how were you able to break through this? Like, because the little that we know about our systems in emerging countries, it's so hard to
Yeah.
penetrate and to, like, how are you doing it? Like, how are you able to make these connections with these hospitals and and
Yeah.
and offer the care that you are offering?
Yeah. So it's been a long time coming, right? This is our second full year. We're going on 3 years since we started, and it's been hard, right? We
Yeah.
started with a pilot in Ghana, right? Obviously, because my parents live in Ghana. My parents have care because of Flurry, um, and having experienced it firsthand. Like when I moved here, um, I was undocumented, right?
Mm.
I spent the first year in New York hustling, right? Came to Ohio, same thing, really, really hard. But I joined the military, got my citizenship through the military. also got into software development, and then got into tech.
Wow.
One of the companies that I worked for was Cigna Global. They're a big, health insurance company.
Yeah.
They're in 138 countries, and I was lucky enough to work on the expatriate healthcare side. Right now, think about this. Right, Cigna has about 9.2 million customers. Right, Americans who live around the world,
Wow.
um, getting care. Now, all of these American, exchange students and workers can get care wherever, Israel, Japan, Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But for 70 years, immigrants can't seem to provide care for their family members back home in the same countries that these people travel to, um,
Yeah.
without sending like money and then paying fees, not knowing. It didn't make sense to me, right? And
Mm.
so it started with seeing how they could build $1 billion company on millions of people, but we have 48 million immigrants here who were born in other countries, are in America working with family members that they're supporting, but we can't seem to figure that out. Right. And so it's taking iteration after iteration. I remember when I went to Ghana, you know, 2020 October, we had tried several methods, right? We had tried working with Cigna itself. The plans were too expensive. We had tried going to South Africa, met a company called Oracle Med. We designed some products there, but it was still more expensive than people could afford, right? And then when we went to Ghana, we started pitching, Nationwide Medical, Glyco, Enterprise, telling them, look, there has to be a better way than just money transfers. You guys are here trying to build something, right?
Mhm.
The people who you want to target in the country don't have money. Their money comes from their relatives abroad. So let's create something so those relatives can pay for. And I'm telling you, it took months. And not everybody said yes, by the way. Not everybody said yes. There's 17 insurance companies in Ghana. Only 3 of them agreed to work with us, right?
Wow.
Yeah, because, it's hard to sell something new that hasn't existed,
Mhm.
right? Finally, they agreed, and we've gone through iterations after that. We did a whole year's pilot to understand what are some of the problems that will be associated with this, what are some of the challenges that we will face, and then we're going to look at that and then redesign the program.
Mm.
Uh, we did that the first year. We learned a lot, and then we needed to come back and then redraw it, right? And what we realized was whether we like it or not, the way that immigrants have so many things going on, right?
Yeah.
Nobody is just sitting there saying, I have this $50, I'm going to go park it somewhere and, buy a plan. No, they're spending their money. They already don't have enough.
Right.
And so the only time they start actually responding to something, the emergency has already happened, right?
Absolutely.
There's an accident, someone is already sick, right? And so what we figured out was if we started a relationship with the immigrants early on,
Mm.
right? And we built a relationship with their relatives back home early on, right? With things like their dedicated family care manager, right? They
Right.
can text them every time and ask, this medication I'm taking, I'm not sure. Can you check and see if the medication is okay? Right? Little things like that. We pay them visits, right? Things like, oh, I need a checkup. How am I going to go about that? We arrange for that.
Mm.
Um, my mom needs medication. Can I get the medication? We arrange for the medication to be delivered. So we start to build a relationship. And this is what became the Fleury Care membership. So now people pay that $99 a year, right? And they have a dedicated person at home who handles their affairs. And then they also get access to a primary care doctor. Now, this is very important. A primary care doctor, if you look in the US, before you go to see a specialist, you have to go to your primary care doctor.
Absolutely.
Need a referral, right? The reason why they do that is because the system needs a way to ensure that all of the care that you get is connected. So that if you went to the orthopedic, the orthopedic understands that you've been suffering from migraines for the last 3 years.
Right.
And that could be a way of your body responding to the migraines that you're suffering. So there's connected data. In the same way, think about your mother back home. Today she goes to Kolebu, right? Tomorrow she hears of a new hospital in Nsawam, so she's going to Nsawam. The next day she hears of someone else in Tema. Oh, Matisa Dr. Biaba. Now I'm going to go see that one. So we have scattered data everywhere, and nobody ever has an actual idea what you are going through. And so what Fleury does, right, is forget insurance. Let's start by building a culture of actually creating a way to support proper access to care. So you have the person that can coordinate the care, do all of that. The person that can arrange, call an ambulance if need be, do all of that. That person is there for you. But we also give you a primary care doctor. Now, this doctor is available 24/7. You can text them and ask them a question. You can ask them how you need to do something. But most importantly, when you're going to do anything, you need to run it by your primary care doctor so that now they have an idea of everything that's going on in your life.
Wow.
So they can help you make better decisions. And then for you who lives here, when you have a question about your mother, you don't start speaking to your 70-year-old mother who doesn't speak English, but went to the hospital and didn't understand what the doctor said, to ask, Ma, what did the doctor say and how are you doing? Instead, you can talk to her primary care physician who gets all the data from every visit and encounter that she gets. And now you're able to say, Doctor, how's my mom doing? Tell me what is really going on. I saw your last recommendation, right? What is the issue? How do we solve it? And so now we are making sure that families, and that's why I started, we said we're a family care solution for immigrants, right? Now, immigrant families and their loved ones are all able to understand what is going on and create engagement and support beyond very money.
This is huge. I think you mentioned that, something, and I need, Maggie, you need to chime in here because Sam is saying a lot about Ghana, but I know that Nigeria, you guys are doing amazing things there as well. So talk to me about what you're seeing in Nigeria and happening now with, how Fleury is changing this healthcare landscape in Nigeria.
Okay. How Fleury is changing the healthcare game is we work with partners to provide some of our healthcare services, aside some of the services that Fleury offers when you become a member. And these partners, they offer various services. But one thing we all have in common, that is Fleury and our partners, and regarding to the change that you spoke about, is we are teaching, we're helping to drive the message of us being accountable for our health before things get worse. And with the situation of things in our countries, we can't always wait till it's dire. That's going to be, number one, very expensive. Not everyone can afford it. And number three, it's very dangerous. So that's why you hear something like, oh, but he was suffering from malaria, just malaria, yet he died.
Yeah.
So and that's why, and it's when you hear it, it's funny, but it's really serious. And that's why we teach preventive medicine. We and our partners here in Nigeria, we teach preventive medicine. So we have one of our partners, Health Tracker. They produce the self-testing kits for HPV. And what are they saying? It's very expensive for you to treat cervical cancer at the latter stage. So you should imbibe the practice of testing yourself periodically using this self-kit that we made, and it's around 30,000 naira. That's give or take $50. So
Mm.
use $50 to save yourself a year long or years long, just yourself and your family. And then we also have another partner that is driving the message of insurance, MyCover.ai in Nigeria. And they're teaching people to learn how to insure their properties. And I think with the advent of this new generation businesses or companies, one of the things that workers like to request for, I think it used to be just old generational banks, like banks that literally had a huge stake, like very old banks that used to provide insurance services for them and their loved ones, as well as those in the government agencies, civil service. But some one-man business kind, no matter how long they work for them, if you're sick, you're sick. And all those stories are very painful in the sense that you may have given 20 years, 25 years, and you are not insured, and then you fall sick, and then they sack you. Why? Because they literally need the engine to keep running. But what we are trying to drive with the work we do, both at Fleury with our partners, is you can get quality healthcare with what we have. You can get quality healthcare by planning ahead of time, either for yourself, either for your loved ones, for as low as for some have there's one that is as low as $4, and there are some that are as high as $100+. But the moment you begin to imbibe this habit of catering for your healthcare, like owning your healthcare,
Mm.
that change that we're looking to drive that wasn't handed down to us, we can comfortably hand it over to the next generation
Right.
because we have experienced it, and we're not fighting the tide. We're actually going with the tide and
Mm.
using that which works for us to serve us best. And that is, at this point, preventive medicine. And that's the message that we've been preaching. And the response so far has been
I think we lost you slightly there with the internet. But this is really good. I mean, I think some you had mentioned, for a membership thing. So let's talk about that. Membership, like you said, $99.
Yes. So
Mm.
think of our relationship with Costco, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody here knows and understands how Costco operates, right?
And Sam's
They're-
Club.
yeah, Costco and Sam's Club, exactly. Everybody gets it. You have a Costco card, you go buy gas, it's cheaper, right? You have a Sam's Club card, you go buy gas, it's cheaper. Costco's card gets you in the store, but when you get in the store, right, what you buy in the store, whether it's a hot dog or it's oil or it's water, you still pay for that. And
Mm.
that's exactly how Fleury operates.
Okay.
The first part is allowing us to build a foundation for your family's care, right? And that's what we offer. So with your $99 a year membership, right, it's giving you a dedicated family care manager. So now you can have your own person back home who is responsible for dealing with all the issues that your family throws at you,
Okay.
right? You can literally say, just go deal with that now, because that's who is working with you. That's who you should address that to. Bibiania or Bekachemi, right? If there's anything, she'll tell me,
I tell you.
right? But don't handle it, right? So that's our mandate, to handle the problems for you. Number two, the primary care doctor. This is super important. So every beneficiary that you bring to us, right, is going to have access to the primary care doctor,
Mm.
right? Now, you get, regardless of the number of beneficiaries, you get 2 free medical consultations, right, every month that are available to your family. So if you have a family of 5 people, right, Kwabna could use it, Kojo could use it that month. But above the 2, then you have to pay for that session separately,
Okay.
right? But the 2 is always going to be available for you each month, right? We also send you a monthly wellness report on all your beneficiaries. How are they doing? Right? Because we call them every 2 weeks. So the family care manager talks to them every 2 weeks to check, is there anything that you need? Is everything all right? Okay, continue taking your medication. Here's how you're going to continue doing that. You'll get a report every month at the end of the month telling you how your loved ones are doing. This way, you're not relying on calling mama and then she'll tell you everything is okay. Meanwhile, she's having leg problem, right?
Yeah.
Number 3, you also get unlimited care coordination, right? Medication. If your mom needs medication, we will find the medication, we will pay for the medication, we will send the medication to them, and then you pay for it here. So coordinating all of that. If your mom needs an x-ray, we will find the x-ray provider amongst our partners. We can get her a vehicle to take care if she needs and she doesn't have someone to take care. If your mom doesn't speak English and she needs to be able to understand or needs an accompaniment, we can send a nurse to go with your mom to the hospital so that the nurse will sit there, understand what the doctor is saying, come back, write the notes, write the summary, send it to the primary care physician, and we'll send you a copy of what happened at the hospital, right? So now you know. If your mom was rushed to the hospital, we can dispatch a nurse to go there, be with her, and update you every few hours on how it is actually going. So you're not scrambling around worrying about what am I going to do, what's going on. I don't even know what's going on. You're now trying to call someone in the village to come to the city to come and see your mom. No, we can send a nurse to do that, right? So we'll take care of that. And then discounts, right? Because we partner with providers, the care that you get from these providers are discounted. And so you'll get 5 to 10% off from every provider that we work with. And then the best part of it, Fleury also allows you to access healthcare plans. So whether it's health insurance, mental health plans, right, or a home care plan because you have an elderly relative who needs someone to come home and take care of them, like assisted living, right? Our partners create these healthcare packages that you can also buy in addition to your membership, right? And so that's what comes with your membership. Your membership gives you everything you need, right, to maintain the healthcare of your loved ones. Plus, the most important part, someone back home who is doing what you would have done if you were back home, as well as a doctor who now knows and understands your family and can communicate with you on what's happening with your family.
Amazing. Amazing. I think that is, I mean, that is a lot. So if someone is here who is listening in and wants to partner with you that way, so what do they do? Where do they start?
So 2 ways, right? They can either go to www.joinfleury.com, right, and just create an account.
Okay.
When they create an account, one of our family care managers will reach out to them and then get them started, right? Or they can send a text message, right, via WhatsApp, right, to 614-705-0109, right? So that's another way in which they can talk to us. And if they go through WhatsApp, we'll just go ahead and do that and take care of them. Right. The other thing is we work with organizations like yourself, right, as well as a lot of the churches that are around that we work with, and other immigrant associations, right? We work with them to be able to make Fleury available to them. And with the immigrant associations, we do something even deeper, right? We partner with them to create their own programs so that their members have access to this. And usually one of the biggest advantages to being a part of an African immigrant group that is using Fleury is we offer them their first year paid for, right, for them. So essentially you start out getting a year's benefit all for free, right? Because we're partnering with that organization. Why do we do that? We definitely believe that immigrant associations have a big role to play in helping immigrants to build resilient lives, right? Mental health is a real issue, right? And the way to address that is to build community. So for us, we are all about incentivizing our communities to be more attractive to the people who need to join them. And so if you know that I can go join, the Ghana National Council, right, in Columbus, and one of the things that I will get is a way to take care of my parents back home, then that incentivizes me more to go join that association. And that's why we work with immigrant associations exclusively in this big way, right? To be able to do that. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So if you're joining, if you find us later and you're looking at this, watching the video and you want to start, then there is a way to start. You either start from www.joinflurry.com or you send a WhatsApp text to the number that was given, or check with your Ghana Association and see, do they have membership that you could actually start from there. But definitely, I think it's worth a change. We have to just start thinking about how do we, you know, start looking at this differently. How do we make sure that we are partnering early? And I like the preventative side of things early, because a lot of us don't do it early. And by the way, we are coming up on our 5K event in July, which will be the whole month that we dedicate to our health. And we're going to talk about it some more, but make sure that not just for you here in the US, but also for your family back home, we are doing the things early. We are catching those things that we can catch early so we can work on them. I think that will really help us in the long run. So just, I mean, as we get up to the top of the hour, if you have questions that you want to ask, I want you to feel free to put it out there, and then we can ask the questions of Sam and Maggie before we wrap up. But we have a few announcements that I want to make before we take any other questions. So we have our Crucial Conversation course is coming up in June. If you haven't signed up, these are skills that we all need in our day-to-day. These are things that will help us with a toolkit to know how to manage difficult conversations. I don't know about you, but I have difficult conversations that I have to have daily, and not, I need to know some things so I'm not going in a certain way and not winning those conversations. So these are going to be crucial, skills that you need in the workplace. It is free. We only have 25 seats available to offer, and it's going to be facilitated by one of our coaches who does manage a lot of these kinds of workshops. So that is in June. If you want to sign up, go to www.master-peace.org and sign up. And then the other thing is we got a partnership with Grow with Google. So we are offering the Google certificates for free. Again, for free. I know sometimes when you think for free, it's like, no. Well, but this is an opportunity, right? So you want to take advantage of it. You want to sign up and you want to go out there and get the skills that you need. You can get skills in IT, in digital marketing. All these things are skills that we will not lose them, because these are skills that have come to stay. So if you are in the tech field, you can join. If you're not in the tech field as well, it's still a good skill to have. So make sure you go out there, www.master-peace.org, and sign up to at least, register for this one of these courses. You never know where you're going to go with it. So Google certificates are available through Masterpiece for you for free if you sign up. It's on a first come, first serve basis. Then we'll be offering some Google workshops as well for career growth and all that. So watch out for those coming up soon as we launch them out for our community members to be able to access. The whole point is we want to make sure that you have what it takes to succeed, right? We want to make sure that as immigrants, we are not just keeping the information to ourselves when we get to know something good, but we can share it with you. We can have you tap into it. And that's why we brought Sam here today, right? This is someone who is leading the charge, to help us change the way we offer healthcare or we get healthcare to our loved ones back home. And it's not only in Ghana. So you could have loved ones in different places in Africa, and they can also partner and get all these good services coming to them. I think that is something that we all here in the diaspora we should be able to look into and say, wow, I can can I insure, like if I become a member, let me ask the question myself. If I
Yeah.
insure like a family member,
Yeah.
is it like how many can I insure at a time? Is it a certain number? Is it everybody gets to be part of it? How does it go? So you know how we have all these extended family
Yeah,
members.
100%. So first and foremost, your paid membership,
Yeah.
right? And I didn't mention this, but to get started, right? If you only have one person that you're taking care of, right, you can actually start for free. We give you a limited benefit, but we would support one person that you have for free. If you, yes, if you get your paid membership, you can bring as many beneficiaries as you want on there. Right.
Really?
Yes, yes. Because what we're doing is providing that support that helps them. So it could be your aunt in, Bojase one time. It could be your uncle in Konongo the next time. We will manage all of that on that end, right? It's the coordination of care that way. Now, if after you want to provide, say, an insurance plan, right, to cover them because you've seen that, okay, these people need care, right? Every month there's a need to take them to hospital or pay for this person, right? Now we see that this is what's going on with them, right? You can insure up to 6 people on a family plan. And I think, and when you go on Flurry, is all there. Pricing for everything is all there for our plans on that end. It's around $126 a month, right, for 6 people, right, who are insured in that way. So it's certainly, the goal is to be able to enable you to provide that support in a different way, right? And you're paying for something that works, right? Our goal is to be able to grow this to more people to understand. There's no need for you to be sending money, especially for healthcare. The other things that you mentioned, like groceries, we're going to solve for that, right? We're going to start in the new year issuing out cards. So that's similar to the way we have debit cards here, right? When you go to Walmart for very specific things, you will get a Flurry card for a beneficiary. So you can give all of your beneficiaries Flurry cards, right? But the card has nothing on it, right? If you're putting $20, $20, and in December, right, you want to do show for everybody, you want Chop Christmas for everybody, right? What you can do is send $10, $10 on everybody's card, and we can push it on our end. Now they have that money to go spend. When they spend it, they spent it, right? If your mom says they need to do groceries, right, then you can say, okay, I'm going to push $50 to their card. Let them spend that for groceries. And because it is a card, it will read what they spent it on, right? Which allows you to be able to see, okay, here's where the money actually went. So for us, this is key. Flurry is here to ensure that the way that you interact with your family is transparent, the way that you care for them is efficient, but most importantly, that you owe something to yourself, right? And so we need to provide accountability because you worked hard for your money. So we need to be accountable for the money that you worked hard for. Gone are the days where you're just a pot of gold that everybody is exploiting.
Yeah.
No. We have to stop. We have to stop, and we have to show ourselves care and self-love. And the way that we do that is by creating boundaries and change in the way that we support the people that we care about.
I love that. I love that. We have to not stop caring for our family members, not stop supporting them, but we have to do it in
Yeah.
a better, transparent way. so that we take care of ourselves and we take care of our loved ones as well.
Yes.
Remember, as
Yeah.
Masterpiece, we say that our mission is really to help you get the resources that you need to be able to succeed in the US and be able to give back to the community that you came back out from. So
Yeah.
that is the thing, but you have to succeed as well, right?
Yes.
You're not just giving back to your community back home when you are not being successful here. We want that to be a holistic thing where you are succeeding and you're able to also give back. So I think this is really a great way for us to, start looking at care and how we provide and how we do things and have some transparency and some, change around it. So thank you so much. I mean, we're at the top of the hour and it's just been an interesting, eye-opening conversation for me. I believe that for those of you who have joined, some of you joined and dropped off, but hopefully you come back and you watch everything. But make sure that you are taking actionable steps from here to help with the change, because when you start with Flurry, then now you can start looking at how do I get care for X, Y, and Z. And remember, you can start for free. Yes, there's something like free, there's something like free. So start it, try it out, and see how it goes. But I can tell you that Sam is a credible person and he's doing something good in the community. If you haven't checked him out, you can find him on LinkedIn as well. He is a popular guy. He's out there, right? And he has his integrity to protect at this point. So we are in this to make sure that things work out better for all of us. So I want you to partner with us, partner with him as we get to do some of these changes, because without you, we cannot have this change happen. So I'm just reaching out to you through this conversation to help us start making these changes, because when we win, we win. We win together. And I really believe that. I believe that we want you to be successful. We want you to be able to give back, but we want you to do it in such a way that you're not completely out and done with, but you also have something to give and offer. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being part of this conversation. Like I said, look out for the health month in um in July. And we'll be talking some more about health. We'll be talking about health in different areas of our lives. And I believe that together we can continue to inspire and aspire and then become better people every day than we were yesterday. All right. Until we talk to you next week, have a great rest of your afternoon, your evening. Maggie, thank you for staying up late to
Thank you
join.
for
I
thank you for
appreciate
having us. I really
Yeah,
had a great
yeah,
time here.
it's good to see you. All right. So Sam, thank you so much, and we will connect soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Everyone.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye.